Hello everybody, welcome back to Access Blockbusters and welcome to a quick non-spoiler reaction to the finale, episode 7 of season 2 of The Last of Us. This is my immediate reaction, so I just finished watching the episode and I guess just finished watching the series. No spoilers are going to be in this segment, but if you're interested in hearing more in-depth coverage, my spoilery in-depth thoughts on episode 7 of The Last of Us season 2, as well as the series as a whole, then make sure to stick around, subscribe to the Access Blockbusters YouTube channel, because later on in this week, we will have our full spoiler discussion on the next episode of the Access Blockbusters podcast. But for now, let's dive into episode 7. No spoilers here. So last week was a beautiful episode. I talked about that in my last week's spoiler discussion and as well as my immediate reaction to episode 6. I thought that the Joel flashback episode was beautiful. I think, like I've been saying, just tracking the progression of my thoughts throughout the season, episode 1 was really good. It was a good intro back into the series, and then episode 2 was the devastating Joel death episode. And I thought that episode 3, while a little bit slow, was getting us accustomed to the reality of life without Joel in this series. But then episode 4 just felt like it was spinning in circles. And while 5, I thought tonally was a good step back on track, and 6 was a really well done character study, emotional depth, emotional journey into the life of Joel and Ellie before Joel had died. I thought it was just fantastic, and there were so many touching and gut-wrenching moments in episode 6. I left episode 6 thinking, there's no way, because episode 7 I knew was going to be the finale of season 2. And I knew that, yes, there was going to be more content heading our way with season 3, and now we've heard that they want to do a season 4. And that had me worried, because after finishing episode 6, I just thought to myself, there is no way, I mean, not no way, but I just couldn't imagine a reality in which episode 7 was going to narratively tie up everything well in this season of television. Because I've seen it a little bit too often these days, where the ends of seasons just feel a little hollow, and they're like, hey, wait for the next season, because you know it's coming, right? Squid Game season 2, great example. Oh, you know season 3 is coming, so let's just make this a half season. Even Daredevil Born Again season 1, I thought the ending was a bit abrupt. It was like, Daredevil, hey, I want to go in there and fight, and Karen's like, nope, you're going to get killed. And then he's like, okay, let's build an army. Season 2. And I was worried about that for The Last of Us season 2, because they knew that they had more seasons coming, and it just felt like they weren't going to be able to tie everything up together in this season. And everyone, I'm here to say that I was absolutely right about that. This episode, while being a solid episode of The Last of Us, was in no way a satisfying tie-up conclusion to this season. And I'll explain why. Again, no spoilers, no details about the plot itself, but this episode did exactly what I feared it would do. It said, hey, there are some things in here that you want resolved. Wait until future seasons for that, because we're just going to basically continue on with the story and tie up one or two things, maybe show you a couple things, and then you're going to have to wait till next season to figure out what happens next. And that is eternally frustrating to me. Now, like I said, this episode in isolation is a really good episode of The Last of Us, I think. It's not my favorite, it's not the best, but I would put it on par with episode 5 of this season. They're both very solid episodes of The Last of Us. And I think that is my problem with this season overall. Again, we'll dive more into this in my spoiler discussion later on in the week for the whole season and for episode 7. But I think that the problem with this season is that they knew they were going to have more seasons to tell this story. They knew that they wanted to split up the content anyways. That's fine. That's fine and all. But in my opinion, you gotta make this season feel narratively satisfying. And this season felt like an amalgamation of episodes that are really good on their own and would fit really well into the tapestry of a full season, except they didn't make that full season. And that's frustrating to me. That is eternally frustrating to me. It's a little bit different than my thoughts on Severance season 1, for example, where I just thought the whole season was great, it was great. And then the ending of the season I thought was a little bit anticlimactic. Not anticlimactic, but just left everything a little bit too vague and ambiguous. So again, I'm frustrated because in any other world, you would have these 7 episodes as part of a maybe 10, 11, 12 episode season. That would have been so amazing. And yet they've decided we're just going to cut it off here and we're going to make you wait. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to me. Again, I'm not going to say that it tarnishes the good qualities of season 2 of The Last of Us. I think that this season has, again, some of the best moments of the series thus far. But in terms of just being a season of television, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. So we'll dive more into that in my spoiler discussion later on in the week for this series. But overall, again, I thought the episode was good, but now we're going to have to wait a while for season 3. And even then, I don't know. I'm just a little frustrated that they did this with season 2. Guys, what did you think about season 2 of The Last of Us? What did you think about this episode, episode 7? The finale of The Last of Us Season 2. Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe to the Access Blockbusters YouTube channel for more content. Stay tuned for it later on in the week, and I will see you guys in the next one.